Good afternoon, Budapest. Are you happy? Very good, very good. I'm very honored and happy to be here with you today. And I want to try something different. Is that okay with you? Can we try something a little bit different? You know, I'm coming from Israel with my chutzpah. Let's try something a little bit different. So please raise your hand if you're from Hungary. How many of you from Hungary? Very good. Please raise your hand if you're from other country in Europe. Okay, not so many, but we do have some people here. How many people of you from the United States? Yes, okay. From Israel? Very good, very good. Now, please raise your hand if you love your country. Very, very good. Friends, we've gathered here today patriots from around the world who love our countries, who each celebrate our national heritage, identity, and culture. Yet, the mainstream media usually labels us as extreme, hateful, racist. This is exactly what George Orwell predicted. Nationalism is racism. Patriotism is xenophobia. Opposing violence is Islamophobia. But they will not stop us. Nor will they silence the voices of many, many millions of fair and decent people who stand for democracy, freedom, and nationhood. We don't hate other nations. We wish to protect our own. Where the left has failed, we wish to fix, to uphold our nation's sovereignty, protect our borders, and safeguard our national culture. We understand that when you import the world's population, you also import the world's problems. And when you embrace other cultures that inherently hostile to your own, don't be surprised when your culture is erased. For years, the progressive narrative tried to persuade conservatives that they were just small, fringe minority, that the only sacred value is the individual, not the family, community, or nation. That you could do whatever you want, you could be whatever you want, yet there was no longer any place for family values, national identity, religious faith. As Douglas Murray says, people in the West are permitted to celebrate every culture except their own. And so faith, family, and national pride, they told us, belong to the past, obsolete and irrelevant. But I think that what we are witnessing recently is unbelievable awakening across Europe, South America, the United States, and across the globe. Friends, remember what happened only last November when 77 million Americans voted and said no to woke culture, and yes to conservative values, yes to liberty, yes to family, yes to nation, yes to sanity. We are not only rooted in the past, we are the present, and we are the future. To ensure our future, we must fight for it. We must be willing to make sacrifice for it. And we must stand firm, unwavering, and united. This is what Israel, my country, has been doing in the past 2 years since October 7th. On that horrific day, thousands of Islamist terrorists infiltrated our southern border, butchered, raped, kidnapped, and murdered 1,200 Israelis. Since then, we have been fighting back. The Lion of Judah has roared. Israel's brave young men and women have been fighting on several fronts, not just for our lives, but for our values. The values of freedom, of better future, against the forces of barbarism and darkness. This is a war of good versus evil, of civilization versus barbarism, of nationalism versus global jihad. But unfortunately, instead of supporting Israel in its just battle, as we stand on the front line of Western civilization and also pay painful prices, some international leaders have turned their backs to us. They have recognized a so-called Palestinian state, rewarding terrorism, incentivizing violence. France, Australia, Britain, Portugal, Canada, Belgium, and others have chosen cowardice, appeasement, and anti-Semitism, neglecting their own future for short-term political interests. So from this podium, I want to say to President Macron of France, shame on you. To Prime Minister Albanese of Australia, shame on you. To Prime Minister Keir Starmer, shame on you. However, amid this darkness and weakness, there's one country in Europe that stands out in particular, demonstrating courage, moral clarity, and common sense. And we gathered here in its capital city today. Israel has no better friend in Europe than Hungary, and Hungary has no better friend in the Middle East than Israel. Thank you, Hungary, and thank you, Prime Minister Orban. The Israeli people will forever be grateful to Hungary and to its government for your leadership, your support, your friendship. Israel and Hungary are stronger together with common interests, shared values, and deep evolving connection. Together we will continue to speak the truth, defend our people, and stand firm against those who seek to divide or destroy us. Thank you, Hungary. Thank you, my friends, and may God bless our nations.